everyone, welcome to Flexibility Script. This video is going to be going into a really nice stretch that's done with a band, and it helps to release the tension on the whole tissues on the outside of our body, so along our whole lateral chain, and that's like from the outside of the ankle all the way up along the outside of the calf, IT band, hip, obliques, lats, tricep, it kind of extending all the way up. It's really simple to do, and I like using the band because it just helps create a little bit of distraction. So this creation of space in the shoulder and allows me to kind of hang a little bit more easily as I drive my body away from the band. This banded movement can be found in the book Release Your Flexibility Potential. It's available also in an ebook format on Amazon.com and paperback as well. If you have the book or ebook, this is going to be found on page 29, banded lateral stretch. And there's instructions in the book as well. So this video will kind of go into breaking it up a little more clearly. So I'll be using a rubber bandage band that is, I want to say it's their robust band, and it has about 50 to 70 pounds of tension. And in the book I go over into which band is best for you to use based on your mobility, and I usually fall between this size band or another band that's like 30 to 50 pounds of tension. So whatever band you have, technically for this release won't affect you too much. It's just going to be something nice and sturdy to anchor to in comparison to some of the other mobilizations where it can be a lot. I'm going to be using, there's a little door anchor, so I'm going to be using my door hinge to anchor the band in, and this door anchor will just, by Theraloop, it's going to be going through, and I'll take that little part that goes through the door hinge, and I'll be looping it through just as so. Alright, once I pull it through all the way, it'll look like that, and then this is the side that when you open the door it'll go through the hinge. For this one, I will usually reach my hand up, and then I'm going to be anchoring the band around above my head, so around like where my arm reaches to, and then we'll get started. So here we go. So coming right to the door, and then if I reach my arm up, I'm going to be actually placing it right above the very top door hinge. Alright, so I'm just going to open the door. Make sure the door is closed all the way, and then there's the band anchored in. So if I'm facing this way, I'm going to be stretching this side of my body because the band's going to be reaching up this way, and I turn around, my right arm is going to be the one that's going to be reaching up, and I'm just going to come a little closer, and pardon me. So one of the things I wanted to show maybe a little bit close up is once the band is anchored, just exactly a little bit more of a close up of the way the hands go, which I'm going to be taking my hand, I'm going to be placing it through the band itself. Let's say it's anchored in the door here. Take it, once it's around my wrist, I'm going to be grabbing a hold of the band just as so. So again, there's that little loop, it's hanging out. Just take my hand, place it through so it's on the back of my wrist, and then from there I'm going to be grabbing a hold of the band just as so. So that's a close-up view. I come right over, me taking the band and then grabbing a hold. Now to do this, I'm going to just be coming out. I'm going to show both sides. I'm going to do a little bit more on my right side, but because it needs it a little bit more. If you were to go into something like where you drive your hip out and you let your arm come up, you should feel a stretch coming through the outside of the body. And when I do my right side, I feel that a little bit more intensely, like I'm lacking some range of motion. So I'm going to demonstrate on my left, but I'm going to go a couple more repetitions on my right side because that's the side that needs it a bit more, and I kind of want to create balance in the body. So again, my hand, just as I showed you up close, my hand's going to be coming right through, right around the back of the wrist here. Then I'm going to grab a hold, and this arm is going to be coming up overhead. So it's just hanging out overhead. From here, I'm going to walk out just so that I'm going to make just the band be a little bit more taut, so just a little more tension in the band, but not much. Once I'm here, my goal is going to be to think about driving my hip away from me in order to get a stretch coming through the whole outside of the body, and then in order to intensify the stretch and also stabilize my body, this inside leg, once I drive my hip out, this inside leg can come right across, crossing in front of my leg, and I can go into that stretch a little deeper, and then I can come out of it. And I can think, breathe in, and as I breathe out, I'll step, and then let my hip be able to drive away from the band itself, and I'll feel that stretch running along the outside of the body. As I do this, I can play a little bit with angles, and by that I mean that as I go into stepping out, I can stay here completely laterally, like facing straight ahead, or I can gently oscillate forward or back, and that'll create a stretch running through more of the back side or more of the tissues on the front side. From a posterior view, be taking the band, and again, same thing. Since I'm facing this way, I'm going to be getting the stretch on the outside. Arm comes right through, just as so. And then from there, I grab a hold of the band. Arm is up, overhead, and then I'm just going to walk out to the side. Once I've walked out and I feel like the band has a little bit more tension, I'm going to be pushing my hip out, and then this inside leg is going to do the same thing it did on the other side. It's going to cross in front, so there I am walking out, inside leg crosses in front, and then from there I'm able to go into that stretch a little bit more, and that band is just gently pulling me over, creating some space and creating this deepening of the stretch along the whole outside of my body. So again, arm up, I breathe in, and then as I breathe out, I drive the hip out, step, and hang out. The whole time, as I keep doing this, I just want to make sure I'm hanging out on the band, and I'm not trying to pull. I'm actually just hanging on and letting the band gently pull me. So in case you didn't hear that, because I was talking to the wall, as I drive my hip out, that I want to make sure I'm not pulling on the band. I'm actually just holding on, and the band is gently pulling me. So again, arm up, walk out, drive the hip, step, and let myself hang. And again, I can oscillate forward and back to get a nice stretch going through. As I oscillate forward and back, just feels a little different, and it feels really nice along getting this nice stretch all around the whole outside of my body. You have the option to do it just as I demonstrated, where I was just continuing to step back, the feet together, and then driving myself out in and out of that stretch, or you have the option to just hold an end point and just breathe into it. No wrong or right. Sometimes what I do is I'll do a couple of repetitions, and then maybe on the last repetition I'll stay and I'll hold that. I always integrate the breath, so I'm always breathing in before I go into the stretch, and then as I go into the stretch is when I exhale and I breathe out. So really easy, really gentle, and it feels really wonderful because you've just created this nice stretch and nice space along the whole outside of the body. Give it a shot. Enjoy. Bye.